Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are receiving us, watching us. Welcome to the Bridge Writers. Today we are going to discuss MegaStrong Trait, research and writing, and our guest is Dayane Rossa. So welcome, Dayane. Let me introduce you to everyone. So Dayane Rossa has a degree in biological sciences and a master's degree in ecology of continental aquatic environments from the State University of Maringá in Brazil. And in 2001, she moved to Foz do Iguaçu and started teaching in the university. In 2016, she was granted a degree in psychology, becoming a professional in this area. She learned about conscientiology in 1999 when she lived in Maringá. And in 2002, she started volunteering at CIEC, the Center for the Higher Studies of Consciousness and Conscientiology, of which she is still a member. In 2014, she started volunteering at Consultancy when Consultancy started activities as a new CI. And this is the CI specialized in serological and holobiographical research. As a volunteer, Dayane is a manager, researcher, teacher, and she is also an author of many technical articles in conscientiology, entries for the Encyclopedia of Conscientiology, and also books. She is the co-author of the books Manual of the Guinea Pig into Physical Consciousness, and also of the energetic coupling and parapsychic competencies. Unfortunately, they are not yet in English, hopefully will be in future. She is also the author of the book Opportunity to Live. And finally, more recent book, MegaStrong Trait, study of one's major consciential talent under the perspective of multi-existentiality, which she is currently translating into English. And we're very happy with that. Finally, Dayane is also one of the 4 epicons of Consecutivos, and she is epicon also of the serexology dynamic, which is now not happening due to the pandemics, but hopefully in the future we'll restart with that. So, Dayane, it's all yours.
Okay, thanks, Liliana. Hello, everyone again. I would like to thank you all for your presence here today. Now we're going to talk about MegaStrong Trait and share the methodology I've been using to research and writing. Before that, I would like to say thanks to my English teacher, Liliana, for helping me to prepare this presentation. Thank you so much, Liliana. Of course, you all know that speaking English is a challenge for me. It's not my mother tongue. Sorry if I say something wrong, okay? I will start that presentation, but in any time, if you have questions or got some comments, please don't be shy. Okay? Before getting to the point, let's introduce my objectives. The first of them is to show personal chronology until writing the book. The second is explain about the methodology of consultancy specialized in MegaStrong Trait. The third, how the methodology changes over time. The fourth, discuss about some questions and how I use it to research and writing. And finally, 5, present some challenge of MegaStrong Traitology, specialty research. To organize our ideas about the subject, let's remember the definition. The MegaStrong trait is the major strength trait are predominant mega talent in the structure of the micro-universe of a consciousness. I will highlight that expression, predominant mega talent, okay? And this, or that predominant mega talent is capable of sustaining its maximum evolutionary recycling and resin. So let's think, what does mean to us exactly this part? Capable of sustaining its maximum evolutionary recycling and resin. Important to remember, the MegaStrong Trait is the foundation capable to sustaining a recycling. And one interesting analogy is we always built on a solid foundation. Then, considering the interconscientiality, that solid foundation are our strong traits and mega strong traits, okay? So if we have a package of strong traits, we could use it to do something good. In this journey, we are going to put our abilities to work and fix small things on the way, okay? But it could happen with anyone in the world. So what's the difference for us intermissivists? Let's think. We can use our will and that solid foundation, in other words, use our mega strong trait to anticipate self-recycling. And it means we try to conquer, advance the self-recycling, originated from the application of leading-edge relative truths. That's the difference, okay? And the last part in that definition, Dr. Vieira says, keep the mater Tolsene working at a high level of dynamism and constructiveness. And mater Tolsene is the root of the motivation, is the predominant Tolsene. So we can see a connection between mater Tolsene, mega strong trait, and evolutionary mega focus. In this case, mega strong trait has a great potential to keep the consciousness follow the evolutionary direction. When we analyze this definition, we realize that the mega strong trait is not a simple predominant trait between some others in our manifestation. The mega talent has a power to sustain recycling, to anticipate recycling, has a power to transform a mega weak trait, a secular trait in our manifestation, in something good. So it's more important than it looks like. Today, I understand this very well, but it was different some years ago. And you will see when I tell you about my chronology then, okay? After this introduction about mega strong trait, I finally going to talk about a personal chronology, or why I started to study this subject. And in 2000, I read a book and I saw the term mega strong trait. In that moment, I thought, surely I don't have one mega trait. I was sure about that, and I never forgot that. I kept this thought during many years. And in that moment, I was starting my studies in conscientiology. I was young. I didn't have the same maturity I have now. I was 25 years old, okay? In 2005, I saw the entry or verbet proposed by Dr. Vieira in Encyclopedia of Conscientiology, called Mega Strong Trait. And I had a new thought. even if I had a mega talent, it would be very difficult to discover it. Well, at this moment, that was a slight change, but not a big one, okay? In 2011, I wrote an entry or verbate for Encyclopedia of Conscientiology called ISIC Trait. I was studying the book Conscientiogram to try to understand more and more about traits and myself, of course. So I just mentioned the mega talent in this verbate and nothing more. Okay, I defined the idle strong trait as the strong trait are positive component of the micro universe of a consciousness kept inactive, sterile, underused, unprofitable, weakened, abandoned, latent in the personal manifestation and neglected. Until now, it's a shock to me when I see how many years I need to change my thoughts. And I could write a book and write that information and just say, I was always interested to know my mega strong trait. I could say that, but it's not right. And I prefer to tell the truth instead. In 2014, I wrote a book called Manual of the Guinea Pig Intraphysical Consciousness with my partner, João Paulo Costa. And even until that moment, I did not think about my mega strong trait. So it passed many years to change this wrong conviction in me. Still in 2014, I started volunteering consecutivos, and it's helped me with my self-research because I started to look at me differently and find something good in my past lives, and not looking for bad things or mistakes, but looking for something good. In 2015, I finally decided to study a mega strong trait. Wow. I decided to identify my mega talent because in consecutivos, we were organizing which research each volunteer would like to do to encourage researching and writing, okay? In my case, I wish to study strong trait. And when I said that to Pedro Fernandes, my friend Pedro Fernandes, he suggested I could study mega strong trait and serexology. Because of that, I went back to research my mega talent. So thank you, Pedro. And my first hypothesis was resolutivity. And that first hypothesis was so comfortable to me. I assumed that very easily, okay? But I received some feedbacks about my first hypothesis and I decided to change to leadership. Today, I'm working on that. So this second hypothesis is not comfortable to me. I can say that demands more attention from me. And every day I think about if I am using disability or not, if I am using disability well or not, and mainly where I should put my mega talent to work. This is an insistent question in my mind, okay? Where I should put my mega talent to work, or what should I prioritize, okay? After changing my hypothesis, I realized I could help other people to identify their mega talent. So in 2017, In 2017, I started a consultancy specialized in MegaStrong Trait. Now I work with my friend André Silva, and in the beginning, Jacqueline Cohen helped us too. Until now, we helped 69 people, and it's a good volunteering work because we learn a lot and helping many people at the same time. We analyze many study cases, and of course, we're trying to help people to see what are their best qualities. Okay? In 2018, I made a MegaStrong Trait course, and it was good to help me to think about how to explain this subject in a didactic way. And it's helped me to organize my ideas and to write a book. Okay? And finally, in 2020, I published a book called MegaStrong Trait, a study of one's major consciential talents under the perspective of multi-existentiality. And I am translating to English, as Liliana said, and Liliana is also helping me. I hope to see the book cover and all content in English one day, but at this moment, the cover is only in Portuguese. So guys, I don't know if you have any questions or comments about my chronology, but this small chronology synthesizes how I identified my MegaStrong Trait and organized some activities like a course, a consultancy specialized, and how it's helped me to write the book.
So if I may say something, it took you a long way to get to the book, right? As you said, the chronology, but now it's a trailblazer. So you open the path, and we don't have to wait so many years to find our own MegaStrong Trait, right? You can all do a consultancy and study it. Obviously, you keep studying always, because conclusions are always temporary, but it's a huge help. I have done the consultancy. I wish to do it again. But
yes, thank you, Liliana, for remember us about that.
Yeah.
Okay, and I really know.
Can I ask one question?
Okay, Ligia, please.
No, this is very interesting. From what you presented, I assume that it's much easier to identify the MegaStrong Trait of other people than our own MegaStrong Trait. So my question is, why is it so difficult for us to identify our MegaStrong Trait?
Yes, this is my mainly question, because when I start to think about MegaStrong Traitology, think about that question. And sometimes we are doing things, many things during our life, but we can't see our strong traits. We don't pay attention in how we works, how our strong traits works. And I think we are very adapted, and sometimes we have some talent more developed, but we are adapted and we can't see. Okay? And sometimes for many people, identify that mega talent is more difficult. Okay, sometimes we can find some people that can do this very easily, but for many people is more difficult. And I think That is because we are just adapting. We're doing something very well, but we can't see it is our mega talent. I don't know if it's clear, Ligia.
Okay, thank you.
And then
Because
there's,
this is
if I,
like even a paradox, because some people we don't know very well.
Yes,
But
yes.
by working in a very small work, or small contact with some people we don't know, it's easier to identify their mega strong trait. And
Yes.
for me, this is a paradox. But yeah, okay, go ahead. Thank
and
you.
I think for me, there's also a thing. Sometimes, at least this happened with me, and certainly will happen with many other people. Sometimes you know that you have a certain strength, but you don't have a word for it. You cannot find a word for it. You cannot name it. And not being able to name it makes it a lot more idle, because the moment you find the word for it, you can think about it and make it more active and do more with it. So this is also a very interesting journey to find the
Yes.
word and then to work with it. The
Yes,
power of the
perfectly.
word, of the concept.
Yes. Okay. And I really know it took me a long time to identify my mega strong trait, but this subject was around me somehow. And like weak traits or study my strong traits, studying guinea pig technique and teaching. I know it was around me, but I didn't find the word. I didn't pay attention to identify my mega talent. But I think because I thought that I could not, I thought in past, I never I never identify a mega talent. I thought that way in past. Okay, I think it's blocked me a little bit. So, but I think it's interesting to understand our tendencies, our tastes, temperament, and looking for our social role in past lives and diagnose some contents I probably studied in intermissive course. In the first moment, I reject the word mega talent, but the interest was there, and I know that. And it's curious, right? Because sometimes we can't see exactly what we have to do, what we have to research, teaching or writing. But when we make the first step, we can see a way from us and do different things. Okay, I think it's remember me the movie Field of Dreams when they say if you build they will come. Okay, so before I published a book, I had to organize my research, and what helped me was making questions. For example, how can someone do something so naturally? Why do some children show above average skills in certain tasks? Why it's so difficult to see the mega strong trait in our manifestation? That's our last questions. This Lydia is a psychic person. All these questions help me to find the answers and researching myself. And at the same time, I paid attention in each person in our consultancy. These questions also helped me to take my mind open to inspirations and organize my ideas.
Internet. Vera Rossa, I think you have your microphone open. If you can close your microphone, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I need to repeat something or not?
I think you can go ahead, no problem.
Okay. Yes, as I said, these questions also helped me to take my mind openness to inspirations and organize my ideas. I finished this book called MegaStrong Trait, but I still having some questions and try to understand other associations. Practically, I am still looking for answers. Okay, and during the work at consultancy and in my researches, we collected some examples related to this crescendum. The mega weak trait gets weaker and turns to a mini weak trait. Then along the time, it starts becoming a positive trait. In other words, a mini strong trait until being a mega strong trait. That cycles can be long in our evolution, okay? But when we remember some kinds of traits, there is an interesting evolution view that we can study. If in one side there is one positive mega trait, on the other side, we also have a mega weak trait. So at the beginning, a mega talent could have a pathological root that we call mega weak trait, okay? In other words, during the evolution, we are experiencing some cycles of rebirth and the soma, and the mega weak trait lose its power, but it is still a weak trait or a mini weak trait. And more cycles go on, and finally some positive characteristics develop, and we can see a mini strong trait, and finally a mega strong trait. For example, in past lives, a person had a pathological leadership as a mega weak trait, okay? And now the same person has cosmoetical leadership as a mega strong trait. When we analyze some examples like that in different people, we are studying how evolution works. So this is what we are doing in our consultancy. And I did in my personal research, and I tried to write in my book. Okay? Let's see more examples. Let's take a look at this table. In this first column, we have a mega weak trait and some traits, strong traits. No, we have a mega weak trait and some traits related. In the second column, a mini weak trait and other examples. Third, mini strong trait, other examples, and finally, mega strong trait. Okay? Think about rage. The second line, rage. Is this example is a mega weak trait, and it's very present in some different situations. When this rage loses its power a little bit, we can say the trait becomes aggressiveness as a mini weak trait. However, if this trait change a little bit, we can see a new one, for example, respect, like a mini strong trait. Mini strong trait because it is not big enough, okay? It's easy for us to see the extremes on the right or left, but there are some chains in the middle which are very important, and sometimes we don't see it very well in the beginning, okay? In psychology, we already know that small changes are more difficult to see than great changes. And in my opinion, the same situations happen with traits. Evolution is a process, not a straightforward line, okay? What do you think about these examples? Does it seem logical to you? Yes. If it was your problem, skepticism, for example, what do you do to change? What did you do in past lives or intermissive course, maybe to change that trait? What do you think? You could only change a trait in intermissive course, or you have to be a parapsychic in past lives to do it. What do you think? This is possible? Any comments? No?
Well, I can say a little something, maybe.
Okay, please.
Okay, so I think that the intermissive course definitely gives a start on a second time, if you want, gives a start to our racing, to our recycling, because of the impact of and sometimes the scolding that we have during the intermissive course, right? So when we see things in perspective and we see the wrongs that we did, so that allows us to, and then we gain more information, that allows us to start racing then. And yeah, you don't need to be parapsychic to start changing things, but it helps.
Yes.
Just follow what you were
Yes.
saying.
We are actually we are not sure about all these answers, but we can study some hypotheses. Yes, maybe we find some person or some people could change more fast, and others needs more time to change some traits. But we haven't sure about all these answers, but we try to study. Okay. Let's go deeply in this reflection and that we are doing now, and think what happened in past lives to change these traits. Let's study a hypothetical example now. For example, skepticism as a mega weak trait. Think about what a skeptic person did in past lives, for example. Maybe fought against religious people, fought against parapsychic people, closed to new ideas, did not consider the energies, did not consider past lives, but maybe a good investigator. Okay, it's a good part in skepticism. Acting this way, skepticism was memorized during some lives. Because of that, even in lives with transcendental experiences, a skeptical tendency is present, okay? Because this trait was memorized. Many lives, and skepticism was memorized. For some reason, maybe new body, new family, new mythology, or a trauma, some person could have new experience, and we can see the birth of mysticism. Think about what a mystical person did in the past, okay? Mysticism as a mini-weak trait in this example. For example, butterfly seeker, dedicated to mystical practices, became religious, more emotional with energies, but consider transcendental experiences. Well, it's incredible, right? Opposite traits, unbeliever and believer. But sometimes could be a pendulum, sometimes skeptic, sometimes mystical. Okay, but if a person can use some good part of skepticism and a good part of mysticism altogether, we can see a positive composition. Okay, it seems logical to you. Okay, many lives to change or to fix a skepticism and start to use a parapsychism in good way. Intuition is a trait. Just one example. This trait is a good start to conquer other parapsychic abilities. So think about intuition as a mini strong trait, okay? And think about what an intuitive person did in the past or doing now, okay, or doing now. So uses insights more often and combines rationality and intuition, sometimes more rational, sometimes more emotional, and considers parapsychism, okay? So that change is not easily to make. Now, once one life was skeptical, or many lives were skeptical, and now change to recycling this trait. Okay, it demands probably many lives. Okay, so evolution is really a long process. And finally, parapsychism as a mega strong trait. Think about what a parapsychist person is doing now, okay? For example, has several types of paraphenomena, works with parapsychism, is open to advanced ideas, considers and uses the energies, and considers past lives, and probably has many heterocognitions, okay? So to change a skepticism to parapsychism, we need to add discernment, cosmoethics, and interassistentiality. Okay, is it clear now? Okay.
Dayane, this slide reminded me about the cosmoethical, skeptical, optimistic.
Yes,
It's
yes.
exactly a qualification of this skepticism.
Yes.
Yeah? So I think there are many ways to see this, the way we deal with these weak traits, mega weak traits, according to our needs, according to our, you know, in terms of our evolution.
Yes.
How we can qualify a mega weak trait to transform it into a mega strong trait.
Yes, yes. This we are just studying an example to show exactly this possibility. Now, how we doing this along the time, okay? And we are studying before with João Paulo Costa the subject, skeptical, optimistic, and cosmoethical, right, JP?
And if I may add also something, is also when you refer this mega weak trait and the mini weak trait, the important thing is that we keep the positives and lose the negatives of each of these traits. Because the skeptical person, if as Dayane mentioned, right, as you mentioned, it's a person that is good in investigation, in research. This is a good point to keep from all that skepticism. But you need openness, otherwise you become what I generally call the professional skeptic. And the professional skeptic is completely obtuse, right? It's a person that is inside the box and refuses for lifetimes probably to get outside of the box and experience other things.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. JP, would you like to do some comment?
Yeah, we just discussed that about an hour and a half before this at Tertulia. That was today. And yeah, that's true. It's a kind of step up after these skepticism is that when these more optimistic and cosmetic as well. So it's a kind of evolutionary step toward MegaStrong Trait in this way. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting because this being positive is extremely important, because exactly the skeptic is very negative in many ways. That's what at least what I've been observing in this type of people. And it's being positive already opens you up to different experiences. That's, you know, you trust more, and you see more, you allow yourself to see more, so to speak.
Yes, in this example, we put negative examples about skepticism. For example, fought against parapsychic people. It's a negative situation in past. Okay, it's an example about that, but we already know that a skeptic person could be a good investigator. Okay, and I think it's a good trait or a good ability in this case. And as you said, Liliana, if we keep the good part of skepticism and good part of mysticism, if we can keep all the good parts, we build another, or we add another qualities to the next traits we are developing. Okay.
One other thing with the skepticism that is useful is the skeptic person tends to not believe in anything. That's the principle of disbelief there, the beginning of the principle of disbelief. So it's a person that they want to experiment, not too much, but you know.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
There's a little, this little thing is important, not to believe in anything. And when I had students, well, from my experience, I had many skeptics and mystics as well. So I rather give a class to a skeptical than to a mystical, because the mystical tends to believe in everything without questioning, and that is more complicated.
Yes, thank you. When we start to study these examples, we always question ourselves. For example, what happened to us in past lives? Or why I have these or those traits or these tendencies? What did I do? What did I work in past lives? And studying Seriexology, today I know if I knew everything I did in past lives, I'd probably be shocked. Okay? And more. If I knew what you all did in past lives, I'd probably be shocked too. Okay? So it's so clear to me more and more, because there are great difficulties between us to practice admiration and disagreement. So if it's happening now, can you imagine if you all knew everything about us? I think, or in my opinion, we probably wouldn't be together now. So these reflections are important to us, okay? Because we need to remember we have a MegaStrong trait to anticipate self-recycling, and we need to do this to increase retrocognitions. So those subjects are very connected: MegaStrong trait, self-recycling, and heterocognitions. Okay? Let's continue. And how do we work in the consultancy specialized in MegaStrong Trait that we are doing in consecutives? When the research makes an appointment, we first ask them to fill a self-evaluation form. For example, in this self-evaluation form, we have a list with 200 strong traits, which can be self-diagnosed. And we ask to the researcher, what percentage of these strong traits is present in your daily routine? For example, openness. Some people put 100 and some people put 20, just 20. And sometimes some people put a percentage too high and others too low. So, and we always ask, what did you think that made you choose this percentage, 20 or 100? How much this trait is present in your daily routine? And we try to calibrate it, because sometimes the consciousness result doesn't show the percentage, self-evaluate the right, okay? Sometimes it's too high, sometimes it's too low, and we just try to help those researchers calibrate their self-percentage. Okay, I think it's a good exercise for self-research. Put a percentage in 200 traits. And most part of the time, we can't see how we work. We can't see our strong traits. We are blind to some details. And Lydia asked me before, now why we can't see the mega talent? And this is a simple explanation. If we are blind to some details, if we can't self-evaluate right many strong traits, it's more difficult to identify our mega talent. Okay? It seems logical to you? And the first exercise is very good to us, and we take a look in our strong traits, but not just 10 or 20. Okay, we take a look in 200 strong traits. And after the researcher fill the self-evaluation form and graduated 200 strong traits, we ask to pick 20. Just pick 20 predominant strengths, okay? And in that moment, we understand how she or he sees herself or himself. For example, in this table, we can see 20 predominant strengths, determination, dynamism, exemplarism, focus, charisma, leadership, objectivity, industriousness, courage, decidophilia, adaptability, self-confidence, rationality, proactivity, tenacity, self-effort, discipline, detailing, discernment, and eloquence. So that synthetic vision is important because we want to know which strong traits are more highlighted by this person. Okay? Let's illustrate it in this slide. For example, we can see determination as a mega strong trait, okay, in this example. So one mega strong trait has some highlighted strong traits to sustain the manifestation of consciousness. The question is, the new questions is, which with these traits are the strongest in you? Which of these traits? We study 200, pick 20, but there are one or more that are stronger than the others. Okay, so we usually try to identify at least 2 or 3 stronger traits. In this case, in this example, we have 2 strongest traits, detailing and parapsychism. Okay, we usually doing this at consultancy based in information we studied in Dr. Vieira. In the book Zephyrus, he says, my mega strong trait is self-determination, but this mega talent is sustained by parapsychism and detailing. And detailing is a trait connecting with intellectuality, and it was very developed in Dr. Vieira, okay? So we just try to do the same, highlighting 2 or 3 strong traits, and then identify which traits are sustaining the mega strong trait. Okay? Is it clear? And we are doing this also if we made a mistake, we identify or suggest a wrong mega talent. So the probability to make a wrong when we try to identify more than one mega talent is less. Okay, so with suggesting we try to suggest one as a hypothesis, but we just highlight the more 2 or 3, and the research could study that hypothesis for herself. Okay, sometimes we using that synthetical vision to study the nature of the mega talent, and we try to understand the nature of mega talent to investigate past lives on the researcher. For example, intellectual nature, monarchic nature, artistic nature, and other possibilities. This information is important to understand the functioning or how the mega strong trait works today and how it was built during lives. Okay, let's talk about the nature of the mega talent a little bit. For example, determination is a common mega talent in some people, but with different nature. For example, determination with intellectual nature. That person has intellectual attribute very developed and much more personal results in the intellectual area. Okay, so if it's happening now, there is a great possibility to find the same situation in past lives. Okay, another example, determination with military nature. That person has leadership attributes very developed and much more personal results being a leader. Okay, in both cases, military or intellectual nature, we are not judge the nature of the mega talent. We just try to investigate and understand past lives. Okay, we just we are examined in neutral form. Okay, is it logical for you? So now we are refining our technique. I think I and André Silva, we are doing this all the time, refining our technique and at the consultancy. And now we usually 20 strong traits picked by or by the researcher or student, and we try to organize in each specific attribute. For example, in this table, we can see 3 attributes: self-dependability, self-discernment, and communicability, and some strong traits related. 3 strong traits relate to self-dependability, self-discernment, and communicability. Okay, so we are doing this to help people to understand themselves. However, we add more strong traits, and sometimes new attributes can be visualized. So we just propose a connection, how she or he sees herself or himself, and how she or he is perceived by others. Okay, and show them a new vision using attributes and adding more strong traits that we can see. So when we started to do that, was easy to us see how many attributes this student has and why. Okay, which attribute is more developed and which attribute has more traits. Okay. And here some attribute examples, and I took it from a conscientiogram book. For example, leadership, communicability, prioritization, coherence, conscientiality, and universality. And the verbs or entry, consciential attribute, writing by Dr. Vieira in Encyclopedia of Conscientiology. For example, we have 10 examples here: intellection, self-docility, imagination, mental self-concentration, critical self-judgment, association of ideas, para-imagination, parapsychism, memory, and self-discernment. Some of these attributes are common in intermissivists. For example, intellection is very common, parapsychism is very common, leadership, communicability, and sometimes we can see universality, okay? And to pick one or other attributes depends on the person's strong trait list and what we can see when the researcher, when we ask some questions to the researchers, okay? Here, another example, 20 mega attributes, propellers of evolution. We took some examples from here: openness, multidimensional self-awareness, self-dependability, self-discernment, self-research, self-organization, cosmoethics, cosmovision, energetic control, personal evolutionary file, hollow maturity, practical evolutionary intelligence, intentionality, interassistentiality, neophilia, polycarmality, principle of disbelief, prioritization, self-tocenic, straightforwardness, and will. Okay, from that list, openness is common, will is attribute very common, and cosmoethics very common in intermissivists, okay? But the mainly questions is why we include attributes, okay? That's an important question. for us and an important change in our methodology. Okay, and I will explain using a quote. According to Dr. Vieira, the desoma is the substitution of small death for immense life, the exchange of 20 consciential attributes for 200 para-consciential attributes. The exact number of these attributes depends on the level of lucidity of the pre-Serenissimus. So, in a pragmatical way, we try to help researchers to investigate these attributes. Not only which attribute is more developed or which attribute has more traits. Not only this, but mainly which attributes are expanding, okay, are becoming stronger in present life, and why. When we pay attention in this small detail and all package, we are understanding evolution. And it's motivation to me to understand how it's happened. And we can see clearly the connection between mega talent, matter tosen, and evolutionary mega focus. And we also understand that connection. We understand the effects of proexis in our manifestation. Okay? Is it clear? Any questions or any comments? No? Okay. People always ask us if there is difference between strong trait, MegaStrong Trait, or attribute. This is a common question for us. And I will try to explain it in a simple way, okay? Strong trait is just a positive trait, okay? Just it. MegaStrong Trait, a positive trait more developed, okay? And attribute is a major characteristics and involves strong traits, mean strong traits, and functions, okay? There is a composition more sophisticated here in attribute. There is a synergies more complex in attribute. For example, intellection. We can see some functions related to these attributes. For example, the intelligence itself, the mental faculty of thinking, rationality, cognition, the understanding, the conceptualization of things, intellectual capacity, and the right exercise of reason. We can see some functions about intellection, okay? But we can study intellection looking for strong traits related. For example, rationality, detailing, analytics, erudition, bibliophilia, okay? And this way we can study intellection in many people, okay? So let's take a look at this example, okay? We are comparing the same consciousness in past life and today, okay? Personality in past life and personality today. And we analyze the attribute will, okay? We can see an increase in this attribute today with more strong traits. In some way, we're probably going to accumulate more and more strong traits and more attributes in our manifestation. And in my research, the same attributes sometimes are not being expressed in the same way, comparing two or more lives. And we have now new questions to study, okay? Always questions, né, in my life. We need to express the same attributes in the same way, or we can go through another, okay? It's a good questions, né? It's a good reflection for us. Which variables are influencing, okay? Sometimes one attribute has less strong traits, it doesn't mean it is wrong, okay? Maybe this person, it just focus in another objectives, okay? And she could ask herself, what should I prioritize, okay? And how do we work today, okay, at our consultancy, okay?
Can I just say something, Dayane, before you go into that? I think that what you just explained also connects with what Ligia was saying a little while ago, because on a specific lifetime like today, we may be using a strong trait or an attribute in a different way than we were using in the past, right? So according to what it is that we need and that we are going through in our process of evolution, right? So I think it connects with what she was referring a little while ago.
Yes, exactly. And this situation, we studied, it's a real case, okay? We study a personality in past life and a personality today. So it is a real case, okay? I can't say the name, but it is a real case, and it's good to us to understand, okay? We can understand evolution in many ways, or in many ways, and I am using traits, I am using attributes, I'm using MegaStrong Trait to study evolution, okay?
Dayane, I have another question.
Okay,
I would like you to explain, you told us before that we need to join Matter 1000, MegaFocus and MegaStrong Trait. And I would like you to explain us with an example, how can we do that to use all at the same time in the same direction? The Matter 1000, MegaFocus, and the MegaStrong Trait.
yes. What I know today, okay? When we identify MegaStrong Trait and Matter 1000, we know that the MegaStrong Trait puts the Matter 1000 to work, okay? Is a force to put the Matter 1000 to work, but work or go in which direction? So in that moment, if we identify our mega focus, okay, evolutionary.
Mega focus is connected with direction, right?
Yes, we can put all this stronger to work together to go on the direction on this mega focus. Okay, so these concepts are very connected, and when we can align it very well, we can go to the best evolutionary mega focus. Okay, we can find the best direction, okay, for us. I don't know if I can
identifying both things. I think it's by identifying the MegaStrong traits and the cluster of strong traits associated, and by identifying the Matter 1000, then you understand what is your mega focus much better.
Yes, it's true. And the real question, or good question for us, is what I want to develop, what I want to develop, but evolutionary objectives, okay? I want to go to where, né? Develop where, what, né? Okay? And if we have a good direction, good or evolutive objectives, we can put our strong trait, MegaStrong Trait, and our matter Tocin to work together, okay? And in this way, or in this journey, we can see some another attributes and more strong traits develop. Okay, it's really interesting to see. And when we are studying some case, some study case in our consultancy, we can see exactly this. Okay, when some person have or has evolutionary mega focus and go through that direction, he really put her or his strong traits to work and develop new mega strong traits. It's very interesting. Okay?
Dayane, I was wondering if everyone understands the meaning of mega focus. What is this? What is related with existential program? Because you have a proexis, but what's the real meaning of mega focus? How can you go there? Maybe there's new people that doesn't really know the concept. Can you explain?
I don't know if I understand your question. You want
the
to
meaning
know
of mega focus? In the meaning, what that means in practice. You have a proexis, but the mega focus, how can you identify your mega focus too?
Yes, we can identify, think about what we want, or what are our evolutionary objectives. For example, if I want to be, or if I want to develop my deporticity, it is for me evolutionary mega focus, okay, a big one. But I can have mini mega focus. For example, I would like to recycling my or many weak traits. Okay, I know I have many weak traits and I would like to recycling this. It can be my mini mega focus, okay? And I'm doing this, I'm trying to recycling that or these mini weak traits and go through the deporticity, okay? Go through, develop my deporticity, okay? Is it clear if I explain this way?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you too.
Right. Dayane?
Okay, Anna.
Let me see if I understood mini and mega focus. For me, I don't know if I understood right. Mini mega focus are those to overcome, to get to the mega focus. Am I right?
We can say, or we can reflect, mini focus, it just is just small objectives we have, okay? Small objectives.
Small ones to get to the mega focus. Some mini to overcome to get to the mega focus. Am I right?
Yes, a little bit, because we can have mini mega focus, just small objectives, and if we can to recycling, or we can go or develop all these mini focus, we can go through your bigger, your mega focus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Or we I don't know the word. We finish our mega evolutionary mega focus. We need to go step by step, and we start with our mini focus. Okay.
Yeah, mini focus on the way. It's like a journey, so to speak, right? Mini focus until you get to the mega focus. But the thing is, as we were saying, if you identify the MegaStrong trait and all the strong traits associated, plus the martethosine, this helps you devise the light at the end of the tunnel, that mega focus thing. So it's easier to work towards that objective.
Yes.
May I ask a quick question?
Please, Wagner.
Yeah, maybe I'm confused about the mega. You are saying the mega focus. I was thinking about the clausula petria. Is it that the same?
I think it's not, okay, but
No?
it depends. Clausula petria could be just a mini focus.
Just to remember that clausula petria in English is fundamental clause of our proaxis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And all the proaxis or complex, in my opinion, is the mega focus, okay? But in this journey, you need to make, you need to develop your clausulas petrias. I don't know how I could say that. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Well, let's go again. Okay. So how do we work today? As I said, we have been refining our technique, and we have helped people to identify the major MegaStrong trait and main attributes, and to add more information to try to identify, for example, parapsychic, communication, and intellectual MegaStrong trait. And the major MegaStrong trait is probably the first one to develop in past lives, okay? And we know strong trait attracts strong trait. It's a basic reality, okay? And the most advanced thing is MegaStrong traits attracts new MegaStrong traits, okay? So that composition, major mega talent, parapsychic, communication, and intellectual MegaStrong traits and main attributes show the reality of the consciousness. Maybe we're trying to see a consciousness in their best manifestation. For example, working in intermissive course. Why not? If once in its past lives the consciousness used its best qualities, why not do the same today? Okay, because of that, we try to identify major MegaStrong trait, main attributes, and other kinds of MegaStrong traits. Okay. And we are going to finish this presentation, but it's important to talk about the challenge of MegaStrong traitology. These challenges, of course, begin with some questions that we don't know the answer, or sometimes we find a solution or explanation, but could be just a first layer, okay? For example, when to use one word or more for the mega talent. We know words can limit the content of the MegaStrong trait, and varied meanings of the word for different people. Okay, how solve this problem? And a mega talent could be a leadership, for example, or agglutination, or sustainability. All these words are different. We know that, but in some way are similar. In some way we are talking about a person who was a leader in past lives. But why we using leadership, agglutination, or sustainability? Okay, it's not easy, or that diagnosis is not easy, but we try to find a better word or composite expression to show the mega talent. Okay, so what we are doing, we discuss with the researcher to find one or two words. We highlight 2 or 3 traits to sustain the mega talent. Okay, and to try to find a better word. Okay, and the second challenge of MegaStrong Traitology we could debate is a MegaStrong Trait idle or not? We have some limitations to understand the reality of consciousness, and sometimes we can't see or perceive the integral reality. If the mega talent is idle, there is a great chance to make a wrong identification. We know this, okay? To solve this problem, we make some questions about crisis, about conquests, about the professional life. And in my vision, if this person has a specific mega strong trait, there is a possibility to identify, okay? And I am optimist, and I try to think I will be able to see it, even if it's idle, okay? And our code in consultancy is, we can make mistakes in the diagnosis, we know that. But if it's happened, it is because we put a bigger, not a smaller mega strong trait, okay? We put a bigger for us, okay? It's bigger for us, not a smaller mega strong trait. And even if it's not the best hypothesis, but the researchers put it to work, it will be good for them anyway, okay? And to finish this presentation, let's talk about the relevance of the mega talent. We talked about some details in definition, but there is another interesting point. The mega strong trait is the unit of measure for hollow maturity. So hollow maturity is full maturity, evolutionary, cosmic, biological, psychological, multidimensional, and holosomatic, really a full maturity. So, and how a mega strong trait can help us to increase our hollow maturity. Let's back to the definition, okay? A mega talent, and remember, a mega talent is capable of sustaining its maximum evolutionary recycling and resin. So if we are recycling weak traits, we are changing our minds, our behavior, and transforming weak traits in mini strong traits. And finally, a mega strong traits. If we are using our mega talent to keep mater Tolseni functioning, as we said before, we have a good chance to go to evolutionary mega focus, okay? For example, for me, evolutionary mega focus, complexes, write a MegaStrong to conquer the particity, and all these evolutionary objectives could increase our maturity. And the solid foundation to do that is our MegaStrong traits. Okay, so let's put out our MegaStrong traits to work. That's it, Guy. Do you have any comments or questions?
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Okay,
Wagner
please,
goes
I
first.
try
Wagner
to
goes first.
answer.
Wagner goes first.
Okay, it's very simple and more curiosity. From this consultant work you did with your colleagues so far, I didn't remember the exact number of consultants. You said 200 or something like that?
69.
69.
69.
Oh, okay. Okay, from this 69, are there any one or two or three predominant MegaStrong trait, or it's variable?
Yes, determination is a very common mega talent. Another is leadership, very common. Sometimes communicability, but we try to be more specific when some person wants to put communicability. We try to be more specific in this case, but two very common, determination and
Communicability is a big umbrella, right? So
yes.
Go be more specific for sure.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
May I?
Go ahead,
no, congratulations, it was very nice, your presentation, and I'm happy that you bring back the definition at the end, because I was going to the definition as well. So you mentioned about the MegaStrong trait keeping the matatocene in a very high level of manifestation. So my question is, does it make sense to work or to identify and to study our matatocene first before we go on this identification of MegaStrong traits, or does it doesn't make any sense, or it depends for every person? How do you see it, the relationship between the influence of the matatocene on the development of the MegaStrong trait?
I don't know if I understand everything you said. You said
what goes first? Study the MegaStrong trait or study the matatocene?
If we have identified our matatocene, does it help to start our MegaStrong trait?
Yes. I wrote exactly this in my book, and I put some examples about matatocene and which mega talent could be. Okay, if you have this matatocene, that some person probably could have this MegaStrong trait. Okay, they are very connected, and sometimes we can start with a MegaStrong trait. Sometimes we can start identify matatocene, and there is not a beginning, but if you start one or another, we try to see if this hypothesis, mega talent hypothesis and matatocene hypothesis is correct, is connected. Okay,
if there's coherence, how they combine,
Yes.
I think one complements another. As you go deeper into one aspect, then you reinforce or you discard some hypotheses, I guess.
Yes, perfect. In consultancy, we ask that question. You already identify your matatocene, And some people say yes, and we want to know what is your hypothesis, okay? And it's help us to identify the mega talent. And the same happens in consultancy about mater thallassemia. I know that they ask the same question: do you already identify your mega talent? Okay.
May I do an example? In my case, when I find the MegaStrong Trait, help me to find my mater holothallassemia. It was easier to me to refine the diagnosis.
I don't know. In my opinion, they are like a street with two directions. One helps another. If you understand one, it helps you to understand the other, and one helps the other. I think so. I don't know if it's right.
Yes, you are right. It is.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Because we are almost in time. Right, we are almost a minute past. But I want to thank everyone for your presence. And first of all, I want to thank Dayane for this lovely presentation, very didactic, as we could only expect from you. It was really nice. I want to thank everyone. And our next, the Bridge Writers, will be in October, because in August we have the 3rd International Week of Conscientiology. So Consultancy will have a strong presence there as well. So Jacqueline, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes. Let me just, one moment, find, okay. So anyways, we have a course, the Retrocognitive self-research course. It's a 2-day course. I was hoping to bring up the flyer, but it's not coming out. But it's a very nice course with specialized instructors from Consultancy, talking about, this topic of investigating your past lives, providing, the basic concepts of serexology, giving tools for investigating your past lives. So very nice 2-day immersive course for anyone who's interested in attending during the 3rd International Week of Conscientiology. So it will be on the 21st and 22nd of August. So if you would like to for more information or to enroll, go to our website, www.isiccons.org. Okay.
Lovely. So we come to an end. It was really, really very good to be here with all of you and with Dai, and hope to see you next time. Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.
Okay, I'd like to say thank you all for presence here today. Thank you, Liliana, again. You're very so patient with me. And I wish my explanation helps to expanding your understanding about mega talent and mainly motivated to self-research a little
and
more.
do the consultancy.
Yes,
because you're going to love it.
I'm waiting for you all.
Yes, and I will be happy to attend in English. So that will
I will. If you help us, I will. I and Andrea will attend in English.
Yeah, so you're all invited.
Thank you all.
Congratulations, Dayane. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations, Dayane. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.